Hello there, very good morning to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Ashwarya with you. Let us start the Breakfast News with the top headlines. Visiting Portuguese President to hold delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. Cooperation in economics and business, science, culture and education to top the agenda. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu to address Indian Agricultural Research Institute's 58th convocation, 245 students, including foreign students, to receive degrees. BJP does not fight elections just for victory or defeat. The party believes in expanding its ideology through polls, says Home Minister Amit Shah. Raises questions on methods of protest against CAA. Health of 2 Indians infected with coronavirus in a ship stranded off Japan's Yokohama improves. 1 out of 3 infected Kerala students discharged from the hospital. Deaths in China touch 1,483. Total infections reached 65,000. And nation mourns Pulwama martyrs on the first anniversary of the terror attack. CRPF to inaugurate a memorial for the 40 Jawans near the attack site. Home Minister, Defence Minister pay tributes. The top story this morning, the President of Portugal, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, arrived in New Delhi on Saturday evening on a 4-day visit. He was welcomed by the Minister for Shipping, Mansukh Mandavia, at the airport. He will be accorded a ceremonial welcome at the Rashtrapati Bhavan today, followed by a visit to Rajghat. He will hold delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Hyderabad House today. After the talks, several key agreements are expected to be signed between the two countries. President Ramnath Kovind will also host a banquet in his honor this evening. And Vice President Venkaiah Naidu will also meet with the Portuguese President. De Sousa, who will be in the country till 16th of February, is accompanied by ministers and officials, and he will also travel to Maharashtra and Goa during this visit. This will be President Marcelo's first visit to India. The last visit by a Portuguese president to India was in 2007. India and Portugal have active and growing cooperation in the field of economy, business, science, culture and education. All right, so President of Portugal, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, is going to hold delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Hyderabad House today. And it is expected that after the talks, several key agreements are likely to be signed. India and Portugal already have a strategic partnership. And they've been cooperating in various fields, including in the field of economy, business, science, culture, and education. And this is President de Sousa's first India visit. Let's get you now some other news. Indian Agricultural Research Institute is celebrating its 58th convocation today at the IARI campus, and Vice President Venkaiah Naidu will be the chief guest at the occasion. Various ministers and dignitaries will also participate in the event. IARI has been the flagship organization in developing high-yielding crop variants and hybrids with resilience to several biotic and abiotic stresses and enhanced nutritional quality. The increasing breeder seed demand of the Pune varieties is the testimonial of their popularity among the farmers. A parliamentary delegation from Canada, led by George J. Furey, who is the Speaker of the Senate, called on Vice President Venkaiah Naidu on Thursday. During the meeting, Vice President Naidu said that abrogation of Article 370 was an internal administrative decision concerning the welfare of Indian citizens and was carried out in strict compliance with the constitutional provisions. Let's take a listen.
I only request you to please sensitize the members of your parliament on one aspect, that is important to avoid providing platform to any anti-Indian efforts or activities in your parliament or outside parliament.
And Vice President Naidu also underscored the importance of strengthening Indo-Canadian relationship.
Our historic ties, both countries, we have historically, we have good relations and we have common shared values, and both of us are democracies and we believe in openness and multilateralism. This is the commonality between both of our countries. And the bilateral trade between both the countries is increasing. There is still a lot of scope, and also the people-to-people contact also is increasing. I'm very happy that you welcome Indians with open arms.
Later in the day, Furay also meet Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. News from the national capital now. 2 days after the result of the Delhi Assembly elections were declared, Home Minister Amit Shah has said that the hate statements made by some BJP leaders while campaigning may have cost the party dearly. Although he added that the BJP does not fight elections just for victory or defeat, but believes in expanding its ideology through polls.
चुनाव बहुत सारे दलों के लिए, सरकार बनाने के लिए, सरकार गिराने के लिए होते हैं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी आइडियोलॉजी बेस्ड पार्टी है। हमारे लिए चुनाव हमारी आइडियोलॉजी को भी एक्सपांड करने का एक मौका होता है। इसलिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जहां तक सवाल है, सिर्फ जय पराजय के लिए हम चुनाव नहीं लड़ते। जय पराजय के भी मायने हैं, इसके लिए भी लड़ते हैं, मगर सिर्फ जय पराजय के लिए हम नहीं लड़ते। चुनाव बहुत सारे मुद्दों को मिलकर एक कॉम्बिनेशन का एक रिजल्ट होता है, जिसमें से एक विचारधारा भी होती है। बिल्कुल विनम्रता से स्वीकार करता हूं कि हम चुनाव हारे हैं और एक जिम्मेदार विपक्ष के नाते दिल्ली में बैठकर बड़े स्पिरिट से ये सरकार ढंग से चले, इसकी चिंता करेंगे।
Speaking at the Times Now summit on Thursday, Amit Shah reiterated that the Citizenship Amendment Act is not to take away the citizenship of any Indian, but to grant citizenship to the persecuted minorities from neighboring Islamic countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan. He said that anyone who wants to discuss issues related to the CAA can seek time from his office, assuring that suitable time will be allotted within 3 days.
और ये आज भी मुद्दा है कि प्रोटेस्ट देश में कैसे होने चाहिए, किस प्रकार से होने चाहिए। डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री में, डेमोक्रेटिक सेटअप में प्रोटेस्ट की व्याख्या क्या हो और किस मुद्दे पर किए जा सकते हैं, ये डिस्प्यूट का चर्चा का मुद्दा है ही, आज भी है। और इसमें हमारा एक मत है। जिस तरह से शाहीन बाग की तरफदारी करने वालों को अपना मत व्यक्त करने का अधिकार है, इस तरह से हमें भी तो हमारा मत व्यक्त करने का अधिकार है। जो सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट है उसमें कि किस प्रावधान के तहत, किस प्रोविजन के अंडर वो ऐसा फील करते हैं कि ये एंटी मुस्लिम या एंटी माइनॉरिटी है। और आप भी अगर स्टडी किया हो, ऑडियंस में भी किसी ने स्टडी किया तो जरूर बताए। मुझे कोई आपत्ति नहीं है चर्चा करने में। अगर विरोध करना ही है भारतीय जनता पार्टी का और विरोध के लिए निकलना ही है, मुद्दा हो या न हो, तो फिर तो हो ही सकता है।
And on Jammu and Kashmir, the Home Minister said that everyone, including politicians, are free to visit the newly created Union Territory whenever they want to, and there is no restriction on anyone's movement. And now an update on the coronavirus situation, and the World Health officials are scrambling to determine just how widespread the new coronavirus is. Now this as Chinese authorities reported a surge in new cases. The latest figures from Hubei recorded 116 deaths and 4,823 new cases. Now this is a smaller increase than the previous day when there was a spike with 240 new deaths and nearly 15,000 new cases. Now, new fatalities in Hubei have pushed China's death toll to 1,483 and have taken the total infections near 65,000. However, the World Health Organization says that the coronavirus cases are not rising dramatically outside China, despite a spike in Hubei province. It added that there was also no major shift in the coronavirus's pattern of mortality or severity. The WHO says that spike in cases was mostly because of China using a broader definition to diagnose people. Meanwhile, concerns continue over coronavirus outbreak on a cruise liner docked in Japan, where 44 new cases were reported, bringing the total there to 218. 2 Indians on board the Diamond Princess vessel are among those who have tested positive. The Indian embassy in Japan has reported an improvement in their health condition. The vessel is in quarantine in Yokohama in Japan. Not all the 3,700 people on board have been tested yet. Now, people with the virus are taken to hospitals to be treated, while those on board are largely confined to their cabins. Japan has said that it would allow those aged 80 or over who have tested negative for the coronavirus to disembark. Authorities say that they could be allowed off the ship as early as Friday. Meanwhile, out of the 3 Kerala students from Wuhan University who tested positive for the coronavirus, 1 has been discharged from the isolation ward of the Alappuzha Medical College Hospital in Kerala. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has written a letter of appreciation to the Air India crew and Health Ministry officials involved in the evacuation of citizens of India and the Maldives from Wuhan. And in related news, a high-level group of ministers constituted at the direction of Prime Minister Narendra Modi held its second meeting on Thursday to review the current status and the actions to prevent the novel coronavirus. And speaking exclusively to Rajya Sabha television, Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said that the government has stocked up on medical supplies to face any eventuality.
In an exclusive interview to Rajya Sabha TV, Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said, border areas are constantly being monitored and screening facilities at airports are constantly being updated to deal with the emerging coronavirus situation. He said flights arriving from Bangkok, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur and Hong Kong are being screened for new cases.
We had started all our precautions and screening and everything possible that we should have done on 17th of January itself, issuing advisories to the states, issuing advisories to the passengers, travelers going to China or likely to come back from China, and also starting screening at all the major airports.
So far, 251,447 people travelling in 2,315 flights have been screened. 15,991 people are on community surveillance.
At our level, we are coordinating with the whole country, the health secretaries, the union health secretaries, coordinating with all the secretaries of all the other departments in the government. The Prime Minister made a group of ministers committee with me as the chairman and the other my distinguished colleagues there on that committee. They are also monitoring everything.
One of the 3 medical students who tested positive for the novel coronavirus infection and was being treated at a hospital in Kerala has been discharged after recovery. The Health Minister also said the External Affairs Ministry is doing its best to help stranded Indian crew members and tourists aboard the cruise ship Diamond Princess, quarantined near Yokohama in Japan. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
And in Breakfast News, time for a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Don't go anywhere.
Well, we pay road tax, but we just don't get to use roads as happily as we would like to. And I think that's the story of everyone who stays and drives and travels in our great city.
With city roads choked with traffic, putting brakes on the fast lane, an architectural marvel was carved on the waters to reclaim Mumbai's pace.
Earlier, what was Mumbai's lead motive? One was Gateway of India, second was the Marine Drive. Now, the moment Mumbai picture comes, it is the ceiling, which actually comes as the motive for Mumbai.
A masterpiece, displaying India's excellence in civil engineering, a human story, built with concrete and steels.
Look high, you look up, and it's 100 meters plus, structure, and you drive through that, and that's my personal favorite.
A bridge over her seas, the Bandra Worli ceiling.
Welcome back after the break. Kolkata got its second metro line on Thursday, 36 years after the country's first underground railway system came into being in the city, with the first phase of the East-West Metro being flagged by Railway Minister Piyush Goyal. The inaugural train zoomed off from Sector 5 station to traverse a 4.88-kilometre distance to Salt Lake Stadium. The minister said that the entire 16.5-kilometre stretch of the corridor till Howrah Maidan is likely to be completed in 2 years. The underwater portion of the East-West Metro line is expected to begin operations in 2021 after the construction of the entire stretch is complete. The East-West Metro corridor has received a grant of 905 crore rupees, the highest among the 5 projects currently underway in Kolkata.
ईस्ट वेस्ट कॉरिडोर मेट्रो सर्विस का पहला भाग फर्स्ट फेज डेडिकेट करने जा रहे हैं सरोजनी नायडू जी के जन्मदिन पर उनके 141वें 141st बर्थ एनिवर्सरी पर। विकास को तेज गति देना यही ईस्ट वेस्ट कॉरिडोर के आज पहले फेज के इनॉग्रेशन में झलकता है।
The budget session of Odisha Assembly will commence from today, and an all-party meeting was also held yesterday under the leadership of Speaker, seeking the cooperation of all members during the budget session. Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik said that the government is ready to discuss any issue in the House. Governor Ganeshi Lal will address the House on the first day of the budget session, while Finance Minister of the state will present the annual budget for the fiscal on 18th of February. Meanwhile, the Tamil Nadu Deputy Chief Minister O. Paneerselvam, who holds the finance portfolio, will present the budget for the year 2020-21 in Tamil Nadu Assembly today. The budget session is expected to last until the third week of March. On to some other news now. Army Chief General M. Naravane has said that with the Office of Chief of Defence Staff and the Department of Military Affairs coming into being, the synergy among the three forces will get a fillip. He also asserted that with the synergy, the forces will be better prepared to meet any challenge. And releasing the book 71-to Dhaka by retired Major General G.D. Bakshi, General Naravane said that 1971 India-Pakistan war was a perfect example of what synergy and jointness of the forces can achieve.
Synergy and tri-service integration is not a matter of chance, and it is not a matter to be left to purely interpersonal relationships and rapport. It is something which needs to be institutionalized. And that to that end, I am very happy that we now have a CDS in place, and with the office of the CDA in place and the Department of Military Affairs coming into being, I am sure that this aspect of synergy between the three services will definitely get a fillip, and we will be much better prepared for whatever we have to do in the future.
The nation is remembering the martyrs of the dastardly Pulwama terrorist attacks on its first anniversary today. On 14th of February last year, the Pulwama district in Kashmir had witnessed one of the deadliest terrorist attacks in the last decade, claiming the lives of 40 CRPF soldiers. Jaish-e-Mohammed claimed responsibility for the attack, after which India targeted 3 centers in Balakot in Pakistan, which completely destroyed their hideouts in the region, and a large number of terrorists were killed. Tributes are being paid to the martyred CRPF soldiers, and a memorial will be inaugurated at the Lethpora camp. The names of all the 40 personnel along with their pictures will be part of this memorial, along with the motto of the Central Reserve Police Force, Seva and Nishtha. A blood donation camp will also be set up. And Home Minister Amit Shah paid homage to the martyrs of the Pulwama attack. Taking to Twitter, he said that India will forever be grateful to our brave hearts and their families who made supreme sacrifice for the sovereignty and integrity of our motherland. And Defence Minister Rajnath Singh also remembered the CRPF personnel and said that India will never forget their sacrifice. The entire nation stands united against terrorism and we are committed to continue our fight against this menace. The Delhi-based Pravasi Bharatiya Kendra has been renamed as Sushma Swaraj Bhavan and Foreign Service Institute as the Sushma Swaraj Institute of Foreign Service. The Ministry of External Affairs made this announcement on the eve of the birth anniversary of Sushma Swaraj in a solemn tribute to the invaluable contribution of the former External Affairs Minister to the Indian diplomacy, the cause of the Indian diaspora and the ethos of public service. In a 4-decade-long political career, Sushma Swaraj was elected to the Lok Sabha 4 times and the Rajya Sabha 3 times. She served as the Minister of External Affairs, Information and Broadcasting, Parliamentary Affairs, Health and Family Welfare. She was also the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha. Sushma Swaraj was the Chief Minister of Delhi also and a minister in the Haryana government as well. She passed away in August last year. And taking to Twitter, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that Sushma Swaraj epitomized dignity, decency and unwavering commitment to public service. Firmly rooted in Indian values and ethos, she had great dreams for our nation. She was an exceptional colleague and an outstanding minister, the Prime Minister said. And Home Minister Amit Shah also paid tributes and he said that Sushma Swaraj was a disciplined karyakarta, a fierce orator and an outstanding parliamentarian who never compromised on her ideals. She will always be remembered for her kind nature and helping the distressed in their trying times. On to some other news now. Indian origin politician Rishi Sunak has been appointed as UK's new finance minister by Prime Minister Boris Johnson in an extensive cabinet reshuffle. Now, Sunak is replacing Sajid Javid as the Chancellor of the Exchequer. The 39-year-old son-in-law of Infosys co-founder Narayan Murthy was until now working as the Chief Secretary to the Treasury. He will now join Preeti Patel on the top government bench after she held on to the post as the Home Secretary in the Boris Johnson cabinet. Now, Sunak is all set to move into 11 Downing Street, next door to Prime Minister's office, as he takes charge of the second most important government position in the United Kingdom. And now a special segment on environment and climate change. A recent report of the International Energy Agency says that the global emissions of carbon dioxide in 2019 were same as in 2018. In 2018, around 33 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide were emitted worldwide from energy usage, and the amount remained unchanged in 2019, even as the world economy expanded by nearly 3%. Global carbon dioxide emissions from coal use declined by almost 200 million tons or 1.3% from the 2018 levels. But at the same time, emissions from oil and natural gases increased. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day ahead.